up to speed, up to speed, up to speed.
Live from the apocalypse, R.I.P. Brandon Clark. We love you. This is State of the Game. I am your lovely host, Dano. You know, just, oh, just bristling at plot points where characters in fight scenes. This happens in anime a lot, where they go to punch and they punch each other's punch. That never happens. Never happens. There's never been a fight where somebody punched the other person's punch. It's not a thing. They're not in sync like that. One person's usually much faster. Doesn't make sense. Stop. Okay. I am joined every week by someone who doesn't punch people because the open hand slap of K Diggy has brought many a white supremacist to their knees. So shout out to K Diggy for setting the world a little bit straighter. You know?
God's work.
That was a good one. Absolutely.
Appreciate you. We have today someone who made a very important album. Beyond the growth it shows discography wise, like when you go through this person's discography, this will stand out. It's an important album to me because my trans homies struggle with suicide. They struggle valuing their lives.
Yeah.
I worry for them all the time. And this is an album that is full of joy and affirmation and will bring you back to yourself. And I wish that for my trans homies and homies beyond.
Yeah.
So Altair Kareem, thank you for giving us Altair Kareem is the president of the South.
Well, I mean, you really gotta thank all of the sample sources for not nuking me off of the face of the earth because I didn't clear a single one of them bitches. Not one. This is real underground hip hop music, and we're not doing that.
Yeah, we don't have that budget, man.
We do not. Oh my God. The types of budgets people have that we do not have because we are underground is crazy. But thanks for having me. I'm glad it really, hits that personal place. I've seen so much love that I didn't know was possible after this record came out, and I really appreciate every bit that I've received.
Yeah, it's important. It's in a bunch of different ways. I mean that is something that I was very cognizant of, like when I was listening to it, of like, yeah, there's a just stay alive mantra with some of my trans homies where it's like stay alive so you can get the love, and give people the chance to give it to you. And this is an album that can give you some of that. It's really beautiful. I don't think there's any guests. This is you.
Yeah, there are no feature verses. It's just me front to back. And I made a lot of the beats too.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing you had produced a bunch of this. I guess the first rational question is the concept of you running for president. Like, how did you get that, and how did you grow it?
Well, I feel like a lot of the dialogues that people have had about the record might collapse when I say this, but President of the South, like the phrase, that's a UGK reference.
Sure.
If you don't know, Bun B used to call himself that in the 2000s, especially after Pimp C went to prison. He has an entire song on there. Jay Prince is on there calling himself like the speaker. But I really just actualized because I had, like you said, in my discography, if you go look back, there's a couple different mixtapes that start with the same name, like Altair Kareem is. Uh, and this I feel like is a good culmination of that because I just wanted to affirm the region of music and influences that I've gotten, as well as just the person that I am and what it means to be the person I am in an area where it's not necessarily like marketed as possible.
Yeah, yeah. It is a blissfully southern record.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this in the RMPP Discord the other day. That period of time where it was like Pee Wee Longway mixtapes just flying, and Young Scooter
Young
and
Scooter.
1017, it was everywhere. Bo
Chris
Deal,
Quan.
yeah, I mean, Boozy, and it was just vibrant. There was like, and looking back on it, it was just an unstoppable wave of energy, right? The like from the pioneers that you talked about, UGK, Outcast, like the Dungeon Family, Scarface and the Rap a Lot.
A-Ball MJG.
Right, 8 Ball and MJG in Memphis. From that grows all these tentacles, right? Like we don't get 3-6 without 8 Ball and MJG.
Yeah, without a Tommy Wright. It's such a interconnected web, especially, and you can see this in some of the producers there because, I have this homegirl from Finland named Molly Magdalene, and she's been producing for me since I started making mixtapes.
Hmm, hmm.
And if you actually really do like take a second to analyze like popular trends in Finnish hip hop music, like it's very, very influenced by like a Memphis type city. A lot of the flows are kind of around that. They get
Yep,
some of the
yep,
trap cues. Um, if you listen to a lot of Midwest hip hop, that's why drill music is so big. That's why you have so many variations of footwork and all these 808 bouncy type fucking club sounds
yep.
in places like Detroit, Milwaukee. Chloe Hotline, one of the producers on there, is from Ohio. She makes a lot of great bounce music. But like you said, yeah, there's tentacles just spreading everywhere.
That makes sense. Yeah. And from that origin, those pioneers, you get like that take over the world, it's everywhere stuff, where Nelly's and all of a sudden it just explodes.
Hmm.
And the radio is just full of Southern acts, and the rest in New York is shaking its fist.
Yeah.
Um, that was, yeah, it's been good stuff. And now my son is somewhere listening to, Max O'Cream and
Mm.
T Glizzy and T Grizzly and like all these people that are just distinctly influenced from that era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting. So yeah, sonically, how did this album hit you, Kay?
I liked it. It reminded me of the early 2000s in music a little bit. And I could just hear so many different influences and genres in here in this project. I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that means a lot.
yeah. No, it was it. Man, it's so good. And the other part of it. So it's great to be able to salute Southern influence in the underground, because I had said in the breakdown a little bit that like in the underground we don't there's a sense that we're selling our seriousness a little bit.
Yes, very much so.
Like our calling card, we don't floss, we can't pay the Delphonics for the sample, right? Like
Mhm.
we don't have the cash. We're not going to be in big videos with bottles, but I've read some books and I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, and I can give you, something that's dense and something that's personal. Um, but I worry sometimes we lose our bounce with that. That we're so focused on that we lose the bounce.
I definitely understand what you mean. And that kind of, I would say, like you said, like we lose a little bit of veneration for Southern influence in the underground. When we do analyze a lot of the trends, especially the past 15 years of the underground, like a lot of them bigger and larger monotonous waves come from up north, like spiraling out from New York. There are a lot of MCs from like say Brooklyn
Yep.
or even like Buffalo that a lot of rappers really want to be right now, but they aren't. And
Mhm.
like because they are so into this, I guess, like you said, this cult of seriousness,
Yep. Yep.
where they kind of either pseudo intellectualize their art or they just outright, again, pretend to be whatever is critically acclaimed at the time. It 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 controls people's narratives and even like ingestions of music. It's really depressing sometimes.
And I don't want to characterize it directly as just about the North. To me, it's about size too, right?
Yeah,
That New York is so vast, in like just New York City. You go to New York, there's so much going on. There's so many people. There's so many different like cliques and important things happening. They don't really have to listen to anything outside of New York.
yeah, they don't.
They could just ingest stuff from the different parts of the scenes, they would have a full diet, you know?
Mhm.
And so the same way when I went to New York, I felt like, oh, they kind of don't give a fuck about what's outside of New York. I felt the same way when I was in Texas.
Mm.
Texas was like, nah, we're good. We've got Lil Peep, and we don't care if you know who he is. Like, um, so I think there's a size thing where they have their own environment, and
Yeah,
they
for
don't
sure.
care. But sometimes that can hinder you because I don't know anybody outside of New York that cares that much about Fabulous.
Yeah,
You know what
no,
I'm saying?
definitely. Or like a mace type figure, or
Yeah, right.
there's a lot of very niche one. Well, not necessarily niche in the sense they didn't get their name around, but they struggle to hold the reputation they have back home, which is kind of like the scenario for most rappers. That you see in other places. They just have the privilege of the size, so they get their name spread around a little bit more. Like you don't, there isn't like uh I'm sure a lot of people would roll eyes at the way I venerate like a Fonte like figure because they're not from here and they didn't grow up listening to stuff like the Foreign Exchange and Lil
Yeah,
Brother.
yeah. I mean, and Little Brother was a little bit of a gateway thing for like people to be able to say, "Oh, they're Southern," but like this is, this fits into the oeuvre of depth and commentary that I'm into, you know.
Yeah,
Um, so they were definitely a bridge, I think, for a lot of folks. But yeah, it's important to get the bounce back, get the joy back, while being able to talk about how we really feel.
yeah,
And there's a political aspect to this project that is important because I don't think our sometimes I think we hold our political rap to a higher standard than we do our actual political figures.
that's very real. There was a talk show that was talking about my album, and I won't like bring them up. I know that's like bad business, but like it was interesting how they dissected or not even the dissected it, but the remarks they had relative to like what it means in political hip hop to make like a political album or whatever. Because they brought up a rapper that personally I don't listen to. I don't personally know. Like
Yeah.
he's not like an associate of mine, but some tweet that he had about how rappers who rap about all this bullshit don't have communes or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Rap
it's
Ferrera.
like
Yep, yep.
it's like me personally, I don't understand where the disconnect comes from, like from what I'm spitting to what I'm doing, because I give back to my community. I really do. I try my hardest. I'll be out on my fucking dick and balls. I'll still hand a five to a homeless guy. I go to the fucking Salvation Army.
Right,
Like you really just gotta like. I think it's that I'm a normal person. Like I'm just kind of a normal nigga.
right, right.
That's the truth. Like I'm not a celebrity. I frankly I probably never will be. I don't anticipate nothing like that. Like just earlier, my radiator sprang a leak. Like I have shit to do, and I will make a statement about how I feel, but you can't expect, because like as you are
Mm,
a normal person, you cannot expect a normal person who makes music to just be Malcolm X or Che
right.
Guevara or whatever revolutionary. At the end of the day, this music is music, and I make it from my heart, as most of us do, and thus it unfortunately does not come with the change in society we would like it to. If I truly could put my hands on the world and make every word of that album echo with reverie, I would. But you can't you can't just be like, oh well, you're not changing the world. You're not actually the president.
Well, and I think the show you were talking about is great. What's up with the minutes? I think is what you were talking about.
Yes. Yes.
And the person who brought that topic is Cozy, who actually hit me to listen to your album for the first time. So
Oh,
Cozy is the reason
yeah,
that
because she
I
was
got
very enthused
yeah,
about it. I really
and she's
appreciated her.
amazing and an amazing artist. Um, and they have a great show. Mega's point. Mega was the one who's he's a scholar. He reads a lot. He
Yeah.
digests a lot. I love Mega. Every Christmas I ask him for book recommendations so that I can use my gift cards for some political theory type shit.
Hmm.
Reading theory does help you and it does change you.
It definitely does.
But where I disagree with Mega is political conversation needs to be able to scale down and scale up.
What
Hmm.
was his what was his criticism? What was
He was
his
basically like, this is this album is cool, it's good, but if I'm looking for political themes and commentary, I'm not gonna get it here. Like this is we're having fun, this is fun, but there's nothing too deep is going on right now.
Hmm.
And that and it's because he's in deep analysis with the shit, right? He's reading theory and looking at references, and so he's thinking, okay, you don't like Donald Trump, that's cool. Um, but political conversation for me, Kay, needs to be able to scale down and scale up.
Mhm.
We need the theory level. We need the deep shit. We need Billy Woods references that we have to crack open encyclopedias for. Yes, we need that shit.
Yeah,
But we also need Altair Kareem being like, that guy's a dick.
absolutely.
Well,
You know, that guy's, I can't believe what he's doing to kids. We need that shit. We need conversational level discourse as
Yeah.
we needed scale up and scale down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can look at political rap or political topics from like an intellectual level, but
Sure.
like you said, we also need it from a personal level. You know, we need how people there's validity to how people feel about politics and expressing how they feel about it. I think that conversation really, at times, hearing how a person feels about something as opposed to like them breaking it down on an intellectual level is more is actually more interesting for people. and more engaging.
Yep. Yep.
I do want to say,
Mhm.
because it goes back to my earlier point about East Coast bias and pseudo intellectualism in hip hop consumerism. I do. I want to. I feel like there is a pretense that comes with a very specific type of rap. Like I use a lot of 808s and like fucking heavy snare rolls and shit, and usually that shit is like, at least from the consumer's point of view, associated with ignorance. And I feel like that has a place to be spoken about in this conversation, where we do say, like, okay, where we point at rappers and we're like, that guy's intellectual and this person may have some feelings, but I'm not feeling it. I don't think it's as deep because, again, like, I'm not using drumless beats, and I'm using my life rather than another person's.
Yeah, so and that
Like,
factors in. That definitely factors in that like what is deep music might sound a very specific way for somebody's ears, right?
yeah,
Especially if you're an old underground head who's been raised on like Def Jux and all these different things, it might sound a very specific way. Beyond that, I think your some of the intellectual stuff that people talk about as being deep is theoretically deep, but it doesn't walk on the ground with the people.
yeah,
And every song on your album walks with the people. Even discussions of ice are very like, did you see they grabbed that? It's not like, it's talking about what this does to us, right? So it's like this is an album that looks you in the face and talks to you about these situations. And it doesn't, yeah, it's not a lecture, if that
yeah.
makes sense.
It's a very material approach, and in a lot of ways, there is a story to be gleaned through it, but it's a declaration in sentiment very largely. And it is, like you said, it's not just a declaration for me. It's the entire like approach to the idea of being the president of the South is proclaiming the African root of a lot of Southern culture and what it means to continue bearing that torch, as well as holding it up to the darkness of the political landscape right now.
And that's why I think it works so effectively as a concept album, right? Because if a lot of people, if they made like, if K made an album that was like, I am the president of Maine, he would be flossing on that shit. He'd be like, I went into the restaurant, I snatched your food away. I'm the president. You can't do shit about it.
That's my lobster.
Right, right. That's my lobster now. Um, but like this album is a continuing conversation with your constituency, right? Like, hey, I President South, here's what I want to do. Here's how I want to help. You
Yep.
know, here's what I see as the problems. And so it's like this running, campaign ad that showcases these very honest parts of you. And I think that's really cleverly done. Um, so when you understood, okay, I have these albums, Altair. This is going to be President of the South. It's going to be, it's going to position kind of the Southern heritage. It's going to give it a sonic footprint. How did you grow the concept from there as you were making these songs?
Well, to like try and uh perspectively affixate yourself to a position of authority, you really do have to say, like you said, just address a bunch of stuff. Like, there are definitely some moments on there where I'm doing the rapper thing, where I'm flow flexing or whatever, but there
Sure.
are a lot of songs on there where I individually, or at least most of them, I sat down and I was like, what is something I don't like in rap music right now? What is something I
Right.
broadly speaking can use as a uh an analog? Like, how can I envision what this ideology, I guess. Well, how can I envision that through the lens of certain rap motifs? Even like if you listen in the background of the big single off of that, PIMP, you can hear me like interpolating 50 Cent, but just singing, like,
Yep.
just because it goes with the pole in my pocket thing. Like, because I did post up a bunch of flyers from my record, and they all had a QR code to a Google form asking people what it was. Like, I made sure to do that. But I really just used, I feel, what I had been accruing in my kit as a basis, really. Because if you really do listen to all of my beats and whatnot, you can find the DNA of Manny Fresh and Big Crit, and in my flows you can hear Currency.
Mhm.
And so I just took the moment to use hip hop as, I don't want to say like it's a magnifying glass on issues or anything, because it's just, again, it's just an album. Sometimes these things are entertainment. They can be very much um gateways and fuel on top of a fire of movement. But when it comes to uh when it comes to being, I guess, an awareness spreader, it does have to be bouncy and fun in the ways that only those artists have made, because I don't know. Not everybody can pretend to be the thing that is most trendy right now.
Right, right. You got to find your own space. And yeah, I mean, and there is incredible depth to this album, right? I want to be clear. I think there is incredible depth in terms of what we're talking about, and subject matter and commentary takes different forms. And I think you have the there's incredible depth on this album that comes from the framing of ideas and the emotional textures that connect to those ideas, and letting those ideas kind of rub against each other like tectonic plates and create like real movement. My favorite song on the album is the Be Free Act.
I was gonna bring that one up because that one is very much a let's have fun, but at the same time, it is like it's literal rap political commentary.
Sure,
I am looking at things I do not want to see anymore. Like, I feel like I said this in the interview with Stilo. If you want to beef with somebody, you better really hate that person if you're
sure.
going to put that person in your music. Because again, your music should be very intimate in a degree. Like, it should showcase a lot of how you feel and who you are. If you're going to do that, be all about it. And I think that was, not to bring up again dialogues about the album that I've heard, but when people kind of like understand what the root of the echo that became that song was, they kind of treat it with a little bit less seriousness. But again, if we want hip hop music to be more than entertainment, if we want it to be more than
Right.
uh just the message, if we want it to not just be having fun, then we have to be able to set aside things that are just explicitly done for marketing purposes.
Right.
Like a like for example, like Joey Badass has no business trying to pretend he can rap with Kendrick Lamar. That is exclusively done to promo an album.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
and if you want to sit here and say
Mm.
that we gotta be theoretical about the shit, you gotta purge most of the culture of shit like that. If you
Right.
want to say that this is a vehicle for real change rather than just songs you personally like, then you have to find some sort of ground in understanding that that shit is reductive. It's harmful for our culture.
Right. I mean, and so you're talking about beef as being part of this parasitic industry. You're also referencing beef as like, you know, as you said, you better really hate that person. And people are beefing with people they don't hate at all because they're sad and they're sick, right? Like we're sick because of all the hate we digest, right? And
Yeah.
we're sad for the same reason. And we sit there and we, spit out our sickness onto each other. And so the Beef Act to eradicate this rat beef, like the words sound like be free, right? Like
Yeah.
free. So like
You want to
it
be free.
free yourself of this bile, right? Free yourself of this sick, sad, persistent negativity that you either work for or generate because you're addicted to it. If we let that go, that's how being free is going to feel. And like, that's real depth. That's a real badass song. Um, and so I just want people to know like, when you put these textures together, you can create something where the mirrors are reflecting in the right way where it's like nobody can do this. Um, and you nailed it. I think that's a fabulous song. I appreciate
I'm
it.
flattered. Thank you so much.
Kay, did you have any favorites here?
Yeah, I mean, so pulling it up, I thought PIMP
Ooh,
was really great. Um, and then you're right, the 5 through 7, uh, PIMP,
woo.
the Beef Free Act, I is, were really was really strong to me. I thought that that's where it really, um, yeah, like I thought that that was the mix where the message, juxtapose, maybe juxtapose, aside next to the funness and the inner youthful energy of the album really coincided together really well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was but like youthful but thoughtful and but loose, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not an album that really feels like it's trying to prove anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's an album that's here, that's talking to you, that's thoughtful. Um, but you make the silliest jokes throughout that still get to me, that are still fantastic.
And I think the
Yeah.
youthful
But yeah, it's been great. And how's the response been to the record?
It's honestly been more than I could ever ask for, like I just drop mixtapes most of the time. And the fact that people really like I probably saw the most like mobilizing on Bandcamp I ever have. Which is crazy because again, like I drop free mixtapes most of the time. Like
Mhm.
and that's the first one I put up on there that has actual, like price tag. Uh but no, I've seen a lot of love. I think yeah, like saying it out loud myself is weird, but hearing you say it, like it does feel sometimes like it needed to come out. A lot of people very much were invigorated by its release.
That's amazing. Yeah, when you make something with an intention or without that intention, and it hits that way, it's like, wow, that's impactful. Um, yeah, that's
Not a
fantastic.
lot of feelings like it.
No, it, being a creator is weird in that way. It's like, yeah. But yeah, the three song run that Kay referenced, PIMP, Be Free, and I Is definitely are. That's where we're rolling at full energy.
Yeah.
Um, and it's beautiful. I did want to talk about another interesting part of this, which for me, Donnie Devil is important.
Hey, I
Donnie
had a
Devil
lot
is
of
important.
fun with that song, and I get that again. It goes back to like, are we just having fun or are we opening a dialogue? That song is just having fun. But again, nobody wants to have that type of fun. People haven't had that type of fun since Ice-T started a metal band. Like in hip hop music, really, like who is using again, like I'm not trying to over proletarianize drill music, but who is using this very accessible, wider loved like wave to talk about what we as people day to day already say, but in art we can't find it anywhere. On TV we can't find it anywhere. In public, if God forbid you say it and somebody disagrees, like, and as somebody who would say all that shit in public, it's like it's just blissful to see that again. Like people like that song. Like they like that I had fun doing what I was fucking doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, the reason it's important is I, there's been all this conversation in real life. I'm not talking about rap, the rap conversations, but in real life, people will be like, "Let's not talk about that. It's political. Let's not." And when I was younger, and you said, "Let's not talk about this political," you were talking about the future of healthcare or whether we should go to another country and take a warlord down, like. And now they're like, oh, don't say anything bad about Trump because, like, let's not talk politics. And you're like, no, it's not politics. Fuck that guy. What are you talking about? Like, that's not, that's a person. And Trump is not political, even though he is our president. He's not political because he doesn't have a platform. If the right rapper walks up to Trump and says, "Free my friend Benji," he says, "Yeah, I like rappers," and he frees Benji. But like on the wrong day, he's absolutely sending people to pull kids from their families. Hedonism is Trump's platform, right? Whatever he wants to do at any given time is what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And that's not political. That's horrible.
I mean, I would argue that it's political from the sense that it's reminiscent of the vanity America has always had. It's it's
Mm.
it's accelerationist almost in the sense that he is just tanking shit, using his rhetoric to ruin industries. Like the whole fucking uh what was it, the DEI thing that he did, and he got all those people fired, and then planes started falling out of the goddamn sky in Philadelphia because black
Yeah,
people run the TSA. Like it, it's very much self-evident that uh it's not emblematic of an issue that we have. It's not that it doesn't showcase something. It's just
sure.
that it's it's kind of it makes the crazy idea that we shouldn't talk about it seem that much crazier because we as Americans can't ignore it. It would be different if 10 years ago we were talking about Obama, but we weren't Americans. We were fucking from Iran, and yes, a village just got bombed nearby.
Right.
Like it would be absolutely different if we felt the wavelengths of it, and that's what the privilege of us being who we are, even if we are marginalized within the internal colony, comes from. So I feel like we should always educate ourselves on the origins of the evils that we profess our hatred for, and the broader cultural impact of saying that they're outliers rather than symptoms of what we should continue fighting uh can do.
Yeah, I mean, I've had several people in my life who were Trump voters who were saying, "Why do you hate Trump?" And I looked at him and said, "Don't act like I'm new here. Like I am 46 years old and I've hated Trump my whole life. My whole life. I hated him when he was trying to just kick an Irish dude off his own land to expand his golf course. You know, I hated him when he was kicking black people out of apartments for being black in the 70s. Like, I, I've always hated this dude. Like, I've always thought this is a terrible person. And so my stance hasn't really changed, right? And like,
Mm-hmm.
he's always been indicative of the problems with our system. Like if I was going to send one person back to change Adam Smith's mind, it would be Trump, right?
This is
So
the
like
end result of your project.
that's the invisible hand, bud. That's who you get. Yeah. You excited?
I keep writing them books.
I was thinking about Adam Smith because I was like, what he didn't think about in the Wealth of Nations was people cheating.
Yes.
He thought you would see a nice car drive by and you'd be like, I gotta work hard and get me a car. But like driving a nice car by people who are starving, they will steal you. There's some of them will steal your car, right? Like, and he just didn't think about that, you know? Um,
Well,
yeah,
I would say it's less so that's probably not even the primary flaw. It's definitely not, because I feel like that's a given with the notion of wealth inequality, that somebody will take something, especially if there's not a force stopping them from it. But it's more so that the person who first saw the car and was like, I want to work hard to get a nice car, doesn't know that the person driving the car bought the car with the money from their parents' company that they've had a job at their entire life. It's not so much as a flaw within the system as in the whole skeleton of the thing itself.
yeah. The cheating can go all the way up of like, the CEO tanks the company, takes the big bonus, leaves, and kills the jobs for everybody else, and like doesn't care because they have their own personal money, and like that's a flaw in the system
Yeah.
that Adam Smith would never have thought about. But yeah, we had some Adam Smith talk. Kay, are you excited about that?
Interesting. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm tuning in. This is good conversation.
But yeah, we were talking about Donnie Devil, um, and I think it's important to reaffirm beyond like here's my political affiliation. It's like fuck him and fuck what he's doing.
Yeah.
Uh, if we don't say it, then nobody knows that we don't like it.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's a good
Can't be
point. Yeah.
so passive that it becomes the default.
Yeah,
Because that's exactly what will happen, is that, which is part of what has happened, because every time the window moves, first it was Reagan, then it's Bush, now it's this fucking guy. It's gonna keep going on until it's more indistinguishable and loud, and it's the majority. Which is why you need somebody to very shamelessly and abrasively be like, this guy really should not have drawn his first breath.
yeah. Well, and I think people are feeling it now more than ever Um, and I'll get off my political soapbox eventually, Kay. But um, Nixon developed code words when he was running for president against hippies and protesters. All the he developed these code words that meant slurs.
Yeah,
Um,
dog whistles.
but Nixon wasn't the smoothest and slickest guy, right? Um, so he had the idea, but Reagan was really the Jordan of
Of
of these
using
code
dog
words,
whistles.
of
Yeah.
the code words. So he had so many, like, are the streets gonna be safe? Are animals gonna be out on the street? He was that kind of shit. He developed that language. And Trump, the reason it's felt shockwaves, people feeling shockwaves, Trump abandoned that and just said it.
Yeah, there's no subtlety. There is when Donald Trump says that the Mexicans that hop the border are going to come over and rape and kill you, he is saying exactly that. He is not when he is saying Venezuelans for no reason, by the way.
Right.
Can't be
No
the oil
facts,
or
nothing
anything. Yeah,
supporting that.
no,
Yeah.
there's no side piece. Uh he says they have a gang and we have to find all of the Venezuelan nationals and seclude them and understand that no, these aren't political prisoners. These are just, gang members. These are, I don't even remember what the group was. And then additionally, it's like, he's not even hiding the fact that he's sending people to death camps like they had, like, um, detainment centers are one thing. They have always been disgusting. They've always had
Well,
problems with people giving fake vaccines. Like this is polio, but or polio vaccine. Actually, now you can't have children. They have always had problems with police brutality. They are very much concentration camps. But he had that whole El Salvadorian prison where you just didn't hear anything about the people that went in. And stuff like that. Like you just really have to say that you're not with that. Like you are not going to sit and be even juxtaposed in a position or framing adjacent to it. Like you really want to loudly establish that it's not the wave that will cause any progress.
and I think part of that is that real racists, real hateful people were tired of being flirted with through code words
Yeah.
for decades. Decades and decades of wink wink states' rights nonsense. And they were like, fuck that. We want the change we want.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, you know what, I'll put it out there. And it was yeah, yeah. But it's important because this isn't this isn't a set of ideas we agree with. This isn't like, oh, you think there shouldn't be taxes as high, and I think there should be high tax. We're well beyond that shit.
Yeah.
Well beyond that shit. If you vote for Trump because you can get lower taxes, you suck so much. You know, there's people dying out there. Like, what the fuck, dude? Pay the taxes. Um, but yeah, I don't know. How did you feel about Donnie Devil, Kay?
I thought it was an interesting. I thought the back to back with Donnie Devil and PIMP was an interesting mix, or this not mix, interesting sequencing. Was that intentional?
Yeah, definitely, because they have like the most adjacent like chopper-esque flows. I'm really rattling off the lines on each of those, and it's also like I would say that aside from track 11, I believe that's the one that Molly Magdalene produced. Donnie Devil is definitely like the most cold and desolate of all of those, whereas like the instrumental for PIMP, Pole in My Pocket, is so undulating and warm. Like,
The Neptune. It reminded me of the Neptunes, like a Neptune
mm.
beat.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got like that bounce in the snares for certainly. Uh, but it does have this like very tribe-esque sample going on.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very cozy.
Yep, yep. I like it. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, this yeah, I hope for you personally that you get to look at this project and go, "Damn, I just raised the bar on myself. I can't go
Yeah,
back to my comfort zone. I'm now shooting here or higher."
for certainly.
Because that's always a great thing, you know, um, to get your reps up in an interesting way. Yeah, and I hope that the greater underground community embraces this, and that we can get some features. Get some features.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to, you know, maybe one day we figure out a sequel, we get somebody popping underground southern rappers on there, maybe so, maybe one day. But nah, I would definitely love to see some collaborative music made between me and some artists. I've been networking a little bit, at the very least meeting new people. I deleted a lot of my social medias recently.
So, uh, Kay, if you were to put anybody from this underground space on any song on here, who would it be?
From the underground space. I thought, so you're from South Carolina, but a lot of the content reminded me a lot of No Name, Saba, like the Chicago rappers.
Yeah, no, I know her. Side note, I'm from North Carolina,
Oh, North
but
Carolina. Okay.
that's definitely I hear that because we do. I would say there's a at least in the modern scape of like the triangles popular culture. There's definitely some heavy like Illinois, Chicago influence. The DJs love spinning footwork at joints. Um, so I definitely I can hear that for certainly.
Yeah,
So
it's that
would you
consciousness.
put No Name on Donnie Devil then? Would that be
That would be a crazy trip
that would be fun.
on that song.
That would be fun.
She would probably sound great on a couple of those songs,
Oh
though.
yeah, she would kill it. Yeah. I mean, and by the way, also a woman my pick would be Kari Fo on
Mm.
Oh Let Do It.
I'll let do
Mm.
it.
She would
That's
kill that shit. She would kill that
a
shit.
nice pick.
Great.
That's a great pick.
So yeah, I'm into it. But yeah, this is good stuff. Is there, Kate, is there anything that you like? So, as a concept album, how does this work for you? Is it satisfying for you? We've often talked about like the hardline concept album where the concept is followed and developed every second, and the loose concept album where it's barely a concept. Where does this fall in the range for you?
I think of like a hard concept is more linear. I think this is more soft. It's more soft concept, which allows you to go explore whatever space you want to go, and you're not like bound. You're not strangled by the concept.
Right, right.
You can go somewhere and then reel yourself back, lock in for a little bit, and then go somewhere else and then come back. There's a lot more freedom. And so that's why like this is a concept album, but because it's like soft, you're able to explore and you're able to have all these different type of beats, these moments and lines of seriousness, and at the same time, have a moment of line or where there's levity, where you're joking, and then get back to the seriousness. Like you're not bound by the concept of the concept, I guess.
And because all of those different moods and shifts are very sincere,
Hmm.
it's it does it does hit, right? Because like I don't skip the outro. I stay with the
Hmm.
outro each time. Um, and it's because of the sincerity of the journey. Like we've gotten there, we're gonna thank our people, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, and that's I mean that's one of the big compliments I can give.
And
It's
I,
yeah.
so I wanted to ask you, what was your intention for the project?
I mean, altogether, it's very much. I want to say I wanted to truly make like a an unapologetic freshman album, like because I'm a mostly mixtape oriented artist. Before this record, I didn't really call anything a studio album, and this album wasn't even recorded in the studio. It was recorded in this chair right here in my computer that's standing right there.
Yeah, I can see
But
the door.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I approached it in a different way because I was like, I want this to refract a lot of my personality and not just garner attention, but affirm to people that have been listening to me that I have plans for the future and this art. Um, I think a lot of the rhetoric is just a natural extension of who I am. Like it's stuff that's a lot more passively thought than it's, said as a political statement. So
Mhm.
I feel like if at all there was a point to be made where you're like, okay, well this has a little less, that's where it is because it's less going out of my way uh as some artists would. Because I even when I like you mentioned ICE earlier, even when I identify some of the people victimized by ICE, I use like local like stuff that I know, the people that I know, the types of people that I understand in my community that are targeted by this, what it really truly has and bears in my worldview. But I really did just want to make a bunch of really good songs that fit in the idea of like, yeah, I'm I'm here and I'm a country rapper and
Mhm.
these are my feelings. And I'm also beloved in my city. I'm the president.
Yeah, and you got to important conversations from there, which is why it feels loose and it conversational and not like a lecture, right? Because you didn't start out with a lesson plan. You walked through, the community and your life and just thought through it, you know? And
Yeah.
that's important.
And I mean, I think the intention, like when I think of a hard concept, the intention of a hard concept, there's usually a message that they're trying to communicate to an audience. You know what I mean? Like it's very
Yeah.
it's almost like a thesis. Like this is what I'm saying, and this is what I want to convince you guys to. I didn't get that feeling from you. Like that I got it more of you were trying to express yourself. And maybe that's what the disconnect with Omega, because
Yeah.
I think he was thinking like, oh, well, if you're gonna have this, you got to be saying something. Like, what
Right.
what are you trying
Right.
to say? And
Right.
I think I didn't get that feeling from listening to this project. I didn't think you were trying to have a message that you were trying to impart to everyone. I think you were just expressing yourself. And
Yep.
I think there's room in political conversation for people who just want to express themselves and
Yep.
express how they see things.
And we got to value that. If we don't,
Yes.
then we're not valuing the democratic process that we're supposed to be holding up and fighting for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, and as always, our baseline for a hard concept rap album is AC Alone's Book of Human Language. So you know, you can listen to that as a comparison point. But yeah, which is great. Nothing
Mhm.
wrong with hard or soft concept albums.
No.
Just it's just fun to think about the differences. Yeah.
There are
Uh,
definitely like messages in there. It's
Mm.
not saying
100%,
nothing,
100%.
but
No,
they
no.
are all a part of a broader collage of, again, proclaimed really, again, like you said, it kind of like democratically garnered love.
Yep.
Because I when I'm driving around, when I'm going to the stores that I'm going to, when I show up in places that people have seen me in my specific corner of my county, I'm I don't see any problems that people have with me. I am very much loved, so it's okay to look take that perspective and be like, well, there's a world out there that doesn't spread the love that I feel. And um I don't know. I feel like, again, we just need to stop telling ourselves that rappers are fucking philosophers. Like, we
Right, right.
intellectualizing it, pseudo intellectualizing it, pretending like uh there has to be this fucking life changing undertone. Sometimes people's just rapping and they're doing it fucking good. A lot of the time, people are
Yeah.
fucking rapping and they're just
And
doing it good.
we go through cycles with this, right? Like, do you remember that period of time? I was 5 or 10 years ago where like we expected comedians to give us everything.
Mm.
Mm,
We expected
yeah.
comedians to like save our lives. And it was like too much fucking pressure on comedians. And people would be like, this comedian saying offensive things and then saying you shouldn't be have to suffer the repercussions. I'm like, right, because he doesn't want to suffer the repercussions. It's just his job.
Yeah.
Like, if you ask me if I want to suffer repercussions, I don't, right? Like, it's not, but he's not a reliable resource for that, you know? Like, he's just a comedian. And sometimes comedians will be smart, sometimes they won't be, you know? Sometimes political rappers will have big potholes in their understandings of stuff or crazy stuff they do. It doesn't mean they don't have a voice, right? Like
Mhm.
I love listening to Vinny Paz conspiracy theories. Shout out to Vinny Paz. But it's, but I don't go in there being like, save me, you know? Like
Yeah.
I gotta save myself here.
There, there was the Kendrick Lamar song I thought y'all all loved about that said something along those lines.
Right, right. So it's one of those things that I think we've got to take some of the air out of that. But this to your point, this album is about building from the ground up, right? Building within your space and your community, and consciously doing it against the giant evil corruption that you see up there,
Mm.
so that you can put all the pieces where they're supposed to be, and not do what they're doing up there. you know and I think that's really critical because ultimately we want people to be more involved in their local environments.
Yeah.
We want people to be more involved, uh, and make changes. And if more people are doing that, the stone will skip and the ripples will happen. So yeah, that's what I would say. Okay, do you have anything more?
No, no.
Let's go to recommendation corner. Talk about music we're listening to, what we're enjoying here. Um, Holy smokes. Nappy Nina just dropped an album with
Mm.
Swarvy.
Mm.
Whew, released yesterday, okay?
Oh, wow.
It's called So and So, SOW and SO. Um, and Nappy Nina is, um, to me, one of the best rappers in the world. Like,
Mm.
full. We're talking about bending words, a fucking word scientist.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just crazy. It's just amazing. 13 songs. Blue is on there. Shabazz Palaces is on there.
Mhm.
Stas the Boss, Logi, uh, Quelle Chris. Like it's
That's
impressive.
nuts.
Um, she's and important MCs want to rap with Nina because they know she's the truth.
Yeah.
And so I'm very happy for her on that. That makes me very happy. Um, yeah, and yeah, people get used to telling people that your favorite MC is a lady. Get used to that shit.
Yes,
Please get
absolutely,
used to that shit.
bro.
It's okay to not just compare her against other women, but to compare her
I
against other
heard,
men.
yeah, no, people don't like fucking doing that. Like they want to. I've never. Female rap is not a genre. There's hip hop music, and hip hop music, like some of it is made by women, some of it's made by non-binary niggas, some of it is made
Right.
by like just anybody really. Like I don't know. I never made that distinction because I was one of those kids that was listening to Lil Kim even before I was like transgender. So
Yes. No, I love that. I love Lil Kim. But yeah, I'm always and yeah, for me, like I love all kinds of rap. So I know people who've gotten older who have been like, I don't like sex rap anymore. I'm like, I still love sex rap. I'll listen to anybody talk about sex. It's fun, you
yeah.
know? Like I don't care. I just like checking in and knowing how you're doing, how you're living, you know? Like fuck it, you know? Whether it's Flo Milli or whether it's fucking, Seafood Sam, I'm in, like talk about it. Isaiah Rashad dropped It's Been Awful, and that's catching for me.
Mm.
Running that a lot more. Uh, there's a bunch of ridiculousness. Dram dropped a project
Ooh, I didn't hear about that.
called The Shake Tape. It's got some jams on there, Kay.
Drum is very talented.
Dram is very
Drum is
talented.
very, very talented.
Pull up the song Circular Motion! Exclamation point when you get a chance. That shit goes hard.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
Dram is still a lot of fun. I like
Absolutely.
I like this. Man, trying to book our second reggae artist that we've ever had, Protege, because the art of acceptance is amazing. We are in talks. Protege is amazing. I would love to interview somebody with a song with Damian Marley. How cool is that? How cool is
Yeah.
that? Anyway, but yeah, I'm having a good time over here, and things are good. Altair Kareem, what do you listen to? What are you rocking with?
Today I was listening to How I Do by Rez. I've been going back and listening to a lot of classics that I didn't get in enough hours with when I was a child. One of which is Things Fall Apart by The Roots. Um, been listening to a lot of Rick James. Been like I said, just getting up on some classics. I think my favorite Rick James album at the moment is "Bustin' Out of L7." If nobody's heard that one, go make out to with your girlfriend to that album, and I'm sure it'll change your life. Uh,
I love, yeah, I love thinking about that shit. Rick James is the biopic that needs to happen.
yeah, it's kind of crazy they haven't. I it's nuts because it's like everybody says that like Michael had this like beef or this like rivalry with Prince, but Prince's one true rival will always be Rick James. It will always have been Rick James, and Rick James definitely matched Prince's energies in ways Michael Jackson did not.
It
Mhm.
was,
Like,
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That was where we were going to. Was George Clinton said it once that like it was after, the popularization of Parliament and just all this funk splinters out. You know what I mean? And there's people all over the place, pockets all over the place.
Yeah.
And the busted out of L7 era, Rick James, is really evil Prince.
Mm. Well, that's the thing is like Prince is evil Prince. I think Rick James is Prince without like the walls hiding the villainy. Like Rick James is just less snobbish. Like he
It's like,
literally
is it
he has
Mario versus Wario? Is that what we're is it no?
no, it's like they're just two different people that are both evil. Because well, I don't even know enough about Rick James to say he evil. Like, but I do know in his personal life, Prince is the cocaine, Rick James is the crack rock.
All
They
right, now
know
that's
what
okay. I think
they
that's yeah.
they very much like sides of the same coin in a sense, but it's more like a dice with a bunch of faces that you rolled, and now you're one of two different funk musicians.
And I I love Prince now. I went through stages with Prince. One of the beefs I had with Prince was there's no delicate way to say this. We live in Maine,
Hmm.
very white. White people professorially telling me that Prince was this singular black talent. And I was like,
Mm,
no, you just don't know who Sly Stone
yeah,
is, bro. You just don't know
you
who
don't know, and you don't
Rick
know ball.
James is. You don't know all these other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's to you, he's one of one, but he knows he's one of a lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
we know he's part of a lineage. Like, he's performing Sly Stone songs, like,
yeah,
because
he's
he loves that.
covering,
Like,
he's
this
showing
is
love.
not, there's a whole legacy of like black geniuses playing every instrument, being incredible. Like it's all part of life. But like all you know is Prince because he was on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So he becomes the one for you, and that stuck in my craw as somebody who's like, it's like people being like, Michael Jackson's the best entertainer who ever lived. I'm like, nah. They're like, what do you mean?
Yeah,
James Brown. You don't know who James Brown is? It's okay. Like, yeah.
people definitely been doing splits and breakdancing on that motherfucking stage for a while. But that is just kind of I think the tragedy of a quote unquote palatable black musician. Um, Prince definitely has a couple different things that he definitely, I guess, kept him in that echelon. Like if Prince was running around here wilding in the same way Rick James was, they wouldn't say that about him. But I was always a big fan of Prince as a teenager, and I grew up with a love for his music.
Yeah.
But nah, in the past like year or two, I've just been running back and just catching up on a lot of funk and soul, you know.
That's dope. Yeah, oh, and when I did find my window into Prince, I loved his love of Chaka Khan and
Mm.
all this stuff, but I
Little
was
Richard.
I was really fascinated with his deep love of like Joni Mitchell.
Mm.
And like he has a whole piano album that's like has Joni Mitchell cover on it, and it's really in that space. He loved 60s music, he loved the Beatles, he loved folk. Like so he could mix those influences in really dope ways. He was a student of the game.
For
So
sure.
yeah. But catching up on old shit is fantastic. I got
Definitely.
like when I was in Philly, I got a 5 disc Curtis Mayfield set and a 5 disc Nina
Mm.
Simone set.
Need that. Need that.
And I'm keeping them for a rainy day, you know what I'm saying? Where I'm just like, fuck it, it's Curtis all day, or like, fuck it,
Yes.
you know,
That's really one of the
it all
best
day.
feelings.
Yeah.
Like just be I love doing like a nice discography listen. That's why I was having so much damn fun with Rick James.
It's a lot of fun, man. People know street songs, and street songs is the big one.
Yeah.
But busting out of
Some people
L7,
know Cold Blooded. Some people.
right, right. Busting out of L7 is the purest of the funk albums. That's like a real 1979 ass album. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good shit. Hey, what have you been rocking with?
So I mean, the only thing new I checked out Little Sims had a
Oh yeah,
EP called Sugar Girl.
it was good.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked the switch up compared to her last album. I thought the energy was she was talking her shit on this, and I appreciate it.
Little Sims does whatever the fuck she wants
Yes.
on her EPs. On her EPs, there's the wildest shit you'll hear her do.
You
Uh,
gotta
it,
learn that better.
it's a free space, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. She's just like, when the album rollout comes, it'll be the album rollout. But for right now, here's what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Always respect that. I feel like I saw a movie that wasn't good. Oh, it was called Nick and Mike or something. It had Vince Vaughn and
Okay.
a bunch of people in it. It was trying to be a comedy, but it's about time travel. It was not good. It was not.
Mm.
It was yeah. You see movie. Sometimes you see one of those movies that has a great cast and everybody's great, but like it just wasn't pulled together. Like they needed to actually take more time with the plot and the characters.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh shit. Um, Uneven, but that's the whole push for content. That's what it is. You get these half
Yeah.
cooked movies, and they're you know. Whereas the movies before were like people were working on those for years.
Yeah,
Years.
nobody can wait for what they want anymore. And that's not even just music or movies. It goes hand in hand, like video games, especially. Those things are on a fucking conveyor belt.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Food. People don't want to wait for their food.
No, dude. I've been
But,
waiting for a minute. Oh my God. You know?
mm,
Yeah, it's crazy. People are screaming at each other in the spots, the food spots. But yeah, and I remember when we used to act like that was just what the kids were doing.
mm,
We'd be flipping through our phones and being like, these kids have no attention span. You know, dude,
yeah.
all of us. And we're all living in this world together, and it's rough. But yeah. Uh, Follow Altair Kareem on Bandcamp, on social media, you know.
Got Instagram at Altair Kareem.
Yeah, they make it happen. The appreciate you for being here. Yeah,
I
President's
appreciate y'all
Doc.
for inviting me.
Yeah,
It means a
this was
lot.
fantastic. This was fantastic. We don't usually get to talk our shit here. Literally, we got a chance to really stretch out and say what the fuck we want to say, and I enjoyed it. Um, yeah, thank you everybody. Um, yeah, be nice to your cashier.
Be nice to your cashier. Double your DoorDasher's tip. Drive your car into the nearest ICE detention center.
Oh,
That's all I gotta say.
that's it.
What will tomorrow bring?